Has anybody heard from Tom Livingston? Oh, he's on. Okay.
Yeah, I've heard.
Seems like we're all here.
All right, we are live.
All right. Good evening, everyone. We're calling to order the Public Works Committee meeting for June 2nd. I should know that already. I've been saying it all day long. 2020. The time is now 7:02. I will call roll. I will call roll. George Tiernides present. Barbara Smith.
Here.
Tom Keegan.
Here.
George Theodorides won't be attending. Manny Langella.
Here.
Tom Livingston.
Here.
And Darlene Young. I saw you, Darlene. I know you're there. Don't hide.
All right, here.
There you go.
Thank you.
All right, that's 6. We have a quorum. So let's get started. We'll start with public participation.
Yes,
Do we
Chairman.
have anybody from the
Yes,
public?
we have one person, Diane Laricella. Diane, I'm going to unmute you.
Hello, Diane, are you there?
Yes, good evening, everyone. Good to see you. But you cannot, can you see me, or that is not?
I see your name.
Oh, okay, but you can't see me, my face. Lucky you. I'm having a bad hair day, so that's better.
I thought that was a question. I was gonna say that's an easy one, easy night. All right.
Okay, well, first of all, I wanted to just speak to 2 items on the agenda. One is a question and the other is a statement. For the JKB, the company that's being hired to assist with the stream maintenance, I wanted just to ask, because I am aware that the Conservation Office is in need of additional hands on deck. I wanted to know if we've first looked at the possibility of a part-time employee to not only assist on this important project, but also to help with other things that the Conservation Commission doesn't get to do or does not do currently. 47 to 48,000 could hire a part-time staff. Secondly, my main item is having to do with, for the solid waste and recycling report. I wanted just to state that the Norfolk Zero Waste Coalition plans to continue to offer assistance to the city about many ways to save money and reduce waste disposal tonnage. I emailed all of you, except for Monique. I'm sorry, I will send it to her as soon as I'm off as soon as I'm finished. We feel that a more comprehensive and efficient textile recovery program is needed as soon as possible in order to save money and provide reasonable alternatives to the low-key programs offered citizens today, both by private and public entities. Currently, there's boxes spread around the city, and that is one way to do it, but we know that at $93 a ton, heavy textiles, especially shoes, sheets, bedspreads, and clothes can really add to the weight. And there are companies that recycle this material and reuse it for things like insulation, rug mats, that sort of thing. The transfer station does have, I think, 2 boxes next to it, but most of the folks that are on curbside pickup don't even know that that box is there. Used clothing shops such as Goodwill pulls out some textiles, mostly clothing, but the sector in the waste management sector estimates that without a coordinated program, there still are really tons and tons of textiles going into the garbage disposal. So we feel a robust public outreach program is needed. We want to help. And while the system I give you in the email I sent you all, simple recycling is but one program, base date recycling is another. I want to have you advise us about when a meeting could take place with one of the staff or any of you in order to move forward on the prospect of optimizing textile recovery in Norwalk. So please advise either tonight, or I look forward to speaking with Anthony or Jessica or any of you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Diane. Is that it, Larry, for public participation?
Yes, there's no one else. I don't know if anyone emailed in any questions.
Real quick, I'm sorry, just to am I allowed to piggyback up on Diane's comment, Councilman Emmanuel Langella?
Mandy, we're gonna bring it up at the very end when we get to that part with the discussion. So just make some notes, and that way Jessica can ask those questions. Or,
Okay,
and,
thank you.
take
Thanks.
notes and speak on them later.
Okay, that's good.
Monique, did anyone call in or email anything?
I did not receive any emails and no one called in with me.
Okay. All right, I guess then moving on. Onto the agenda we go. All right, new business. Item number 1, approve the minutes of the Public Works Committee meeting on Tuesday, May 5th, 2020. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. All in favor? I'll start with roll. Barbara? Ms.
Yes.
Smith? Tom Keegan?
Yes.
Tom Livingston?
Yes.
Manny Langella?
Yes.
Darlene Young?
Yes.
And I am a yes also. So it passes unanimous. Item number 2, acknowledge the receipt of the request for the honorary naming of the portion of Chestnut Street from Monroe Street to Merritt Place to Officer Cesar Ramirez Drive. Can I have a motion? Would anybody like to move that?
I'll move it. Oh,
Okay, well, thank you, Mrs. Young. I'll take roll. All in favor? Ms. Smith?
yes.
Mr. Keegan?
Yes.
Mr. Langella?
Yes.
Mr. Livingston?
Yes.
Mrs. Young?
Yes.
And I am also a yes. So fantastic, unanimous. Item number 3, from the Office of the Mayor and the Chief of Police, schedule a public hearing for the honorary naming of the portion of Chestnut Street from Monroe Street to Merritt Place to Officer Cesar Ramirez Drive. The public hearing shall be conducted in order to hear all parties interested in commenting on the proposed honorary street naming and to take such action on said naming that the committee may deem advisable. The public hearing is scheduled for Tuesday, July 7th, 2020 at 7 p.m. by the way of video conference and teleconference. Can I have a motion? Would anyone
Motion.
like to do that? Thank you, Ms. Smith. Okay, let's go to vote. Ms. Smith? Does
Sorry.
anybody have any?
You're muted.
I mean, I'm not asking for the questions because I'm not asking for any questions because I know we've already spoke on this several times, but I'm assuming there's no new questions. Okay, so Ms. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Keegan,
Yes.
Mr. Langella,
Yes.
Mr. Livingston,
Yes.
Ms. Young,
Yes.
and I am also a yes, so unanimous. Okay, item 4A and 4B, I'm going to move together. Authorize the mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to execute an agreement with AM Rizzo Electrical Contractors for State Project 102-347 Norwalk Traffic Signal System Upgrade, Phase 3, for a total sum not to exceed $4,131,983.70 base bid and $42,270 alternate A. 4B, authorize the Director of Transportation, Mobility, and Parking to execute orders on contract with AM Rizzo Electrical Contractors for State Project 102-347 Norwalk Traffic Signal System Upgrade, Phase 3, for a sum not to exceed $413,198, accounts noted. Would anyone like to move that?
I'll move it.
Thank you, Mr. Livingston. Anthony, did you want to speak on this particular, or Vanessa? Can somebody just give us a quick update on this?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, before we turn it over, and I believe, is Mike Yosak on, dialed into Zoom?
Yes.
All right, before we turn it over to Mr. Yosak, this project is basically citywide traffic signal upgrades with various grant funding. It includes a lot of the adaptive signals and enhanced signalization that to help improve some of what we have in place already, and then also go above and beyond that. So I'd like to turn over to Mike. He could explain a little bit more about the funding sources and what exactly we're getting from the federal and the state and the locations of the traffic signal improvements.
Great. Mr. Yosak, are you there?
Yes, Chairman.
There you are. I see your name.
We have basically it's a replacement of 6 traffic signals in various locations around town on major corridors. 3 of them are New Canaan Avenue, and 2 are on Route 1, and then the other one is East Avenue at Wall Street. There are improvements to the traffic signals. There's also pedestrian improvements there to make the intersections easier for pedestrians to cross, enhanced sidewalks and crosswalks.
Now, excuse me, Mike, can you tell us a little bit about the, I know there are some federal funds associated with this. Can you tell us a little bit about that and what we can expect?
Sure. Basically, what these are is CMAQ federal funds, which is congestion mitigation and air quality improvements. So the funding for that is about close to $3 million of the total cost. The rest is city match money.
Okay. Do we have any other questions? Any of the Mr. Livingston, I see your hand up.
Yeah, thank you. Mike, it's Tom Livingston. Just a couple of questions. These are improvements to the signals. What does that mean exactly? Is this synchronized, or what does it mean?
Yes, they're connected to our central traffic system. So they're all fed back to City Hall, where they're and traffic operations where they're monitored. They have video detection, and then some of the main improvements, like at New Canaan and Bartlett, we're making that intersection a lot more pedestrian friendly, so people can cross the street there, and everything will be synchronized so you can get through those intersections.
Anyone else?
Yeah, can I just ask, like, what specifically will improve for pedestrians? Is it with the timing of the lighting? You had mentioned sidewalks as well, but just specifically what, because those are some, pretty dangerous intersections for pedestrians.
Yeah, that's exactly true. What we're doing is tightening up some of the radiuses so the cars can't make those right-hand turns as quickly. We're adding additional crosswalks there at all sides of the intersections, and we're continuing some of the sidewalks. There's some missing pieces of sidewalks in those areas.
Yeah, thanks.
Any other questions? I'm sorry if I can't see you. Just speak, just talk in and all. Okay, so seeing none, I'm going to put it up for a vote. Ms. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Keegan, Mr. Keegan. Okay, I'll come back to Tom. We may have lost him. Oh, I saw a hand go up. You were muted, but I saw a hand. Thumbs up. All right. Mr. Langella,
Yes.
Mr. Livingston,
Yes.
Ms. Young,
Yes.
and I'm also a yes. Great. So that passes unanimously.
Yep.
Items 5A and 5B, I'm going to move together. Authorize the mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to execute an agreement between the city of Norwalk and JKB Consulting LLC for environmental inspection services and support necessary to remain in compliance with the regulatory environmental agencies, EPA, DEEP, ACOE, and Conservation during the Watercourse Maintenance Project, DPW 2019-1, for a sum not to exceed $47,730. Account noted. 5B, authorize the Chief of Operations and Public Works, Anthony Carr, to add orders on contract to the contract agreement between the City of Norwalk and JKB Consulting LLC for a sum not to exceed $4,773. Accounts noted. Mr. Carr, are you there? Yes, there you are. Can you speak a little bit on this and just give us all an update?
Sure. So as indicated in the description, this particular contract is for environmental services for oversight during the construction and the maintenance work at the 5 locations that were previously approved and funded for sediment removal. And that includes Friendly Road, Lloyd Road, June, Keeley, and Hunter. And we can give an update on those projects underneath the discussion item. But that's this oversight is specifically associated with the professional services to ensure that the projects are constructed in accordance with the approved plans by Connecticut DEEP and the Army Corps. I mean, a lot of that work is specialized work, especially since it involves, if you want to call it wetland restoration and things that are outside the expertise of the Department of Public Works. So we felt it was in the best interest of the city and the project to retain professional services to oversee such work. This consultant was involved in the design process and is very familiar and intimate with the plans. So we feel that this is advantageous to the city and will ensure a complete project with hopefully no hiccups.
All right, sounds good. Any questions? I don't see any hands up or. Okay, well, I'd just like to add again, it's great to see this project going forward. It's nice to pull these consultants in and show that we are staying environmentally friendly and cautious what we're doing while trying to remedy the problems we're having with flooding in those areas. I think somebody's mic is on. I might have to find you and mute you. All right, that may have been it. So again, that's a good positive move forward on what we're looking to do and hopefully help those residents over there. Anthony, in regards to Diane's question earlier, Ms. Loricella's question, can you tell us what your thoughts are on that?
So there was no, if I remember correctly, her question was if there was any consideration basically to assist the Conservation Office. Is that correct, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, that's the way I took it.
Okay, we have collaborated with the Conservation Office throughout this whole process, from the permitting and the approvals and even the pre-construction walkthrough. So they are very well aware of the 5 locations that we are going to be dredging or removing sediment from. We did not have that discussion regarding employing any services to or from them, nor did they offer that or indicate the need for such. I know they're inundated, but I've spoken with Alexis and I've spoken with members of the Conservation Office, and none have expressed who are also involved with the screening of the RFQ process for this agreement, and they did not indicate such that they required any assistance. I mean, it's something we could look at in the future, but this is specifically just for those 5 locations.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, may I add something to that?
Sure. Please.
I also want to clarify that this environmental inspection service was a requirement of our DEP and conservation permit. So we as part of the permit, we have to have this person hired, not as a staff person. So it's a third party that it needs to be required so we can continue the dredging project. So it was one of the requirements of our permit. And just to let everybody know how we came to JKB, we had an open RFP process, so a request for proposal. We had 7 companies that respond to it. We created an internal committee to evaluate all the responses, and we have conservation, one of the staff from conservation as part of the committee. And after evaluating all the participants and all the responses, the committee came back, and that's why they decided to have JKB as the best candidate to do this work.
Fantastic. Thank you, Vanessa. Okay. Any other questions, comments? All right, seeing none, I'll call it to a vote.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
You need a motion.
Thank you, Tom.
you
So Monique, Tom made the motion.
And I'll move it. Yep.
Tom volunteered to move that. I'm sorry. Thank you, Tom. Now I'll call for a vote. Ms. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Keegan,
Yes.
Mr. Langella,
Yes.
Mr. Livingston,
Yes.
Mrs. Young. I think I heard yes.
You're muted.
I read, oh my God.
Yes, you read that?
I read lips. Wonderful, and I'm a yes also, so it passes unanimous. All right, so I guess that ends all new business, and moving on to information and discussion. Item number A, discussion number 1, sediment removal contract. Who would like to give us the update tonight?
Be myself, Mr. Chairman, and Vanessa and Drew could definitely jump in if they'd like to add more information. But we're happy to report that the first of the 5 locations will begin work at Friendly Road, and that work is scheduled to begin this upcoming Monday. So that'll be one of 5 locations, and the second location will be Lloyd Road, and that work will begin sometime in August. I'll turn it over to Vanessa or Drew if you'd like to give just an update on the permitting status for the other 3 locations, which are June Court, Keeley, and Hunter.
Okay, yeah, so this is the Watercourse Maintenance, where we are starting work on Monday at Friendly Road. The heavy pipe cleaning contract has finished its work at Surrey Road, which is in that same neighborhood. The heavy pipe cleaning has progressed very far in its locations. We're on Boughton Street now with the heavy pipe cleaning, and we're still under budget on that project. So thumbs up there. And we've gotten Army Corps permit for Friendly Road and for June Avenue area. We've gotten 4 out of 5 for deep approval out of those 5 locations. So things are progressing very quickly now with the approvals, and we start work on Monday. We're looking forward to that.
All right, fantastic. Any questions?
No.
Okay, moving on to the next item, heavy pipe cleaning contract. Who would like to give us a little update on that? I mean, Drew, you want to jump right back in on that?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was going back and forth between those 2 projects, but yeah, the heavy pipe cleaning, we've finished all the locations except for Boughton Street. Boughton Street we're at right now. This is underneath the railroad tracks where there's a lot of debris and everything. They got stuck under a small culvert that exists there. So this is just a frequent maintenance issue that's too difficult to reach and manage once it gets to a certain point, and that's why we go through this heavy pipe cleaning contract to be able to clean that up. So they've taken a lot of sediment out in the West Cedar Street area. They were able to remove a lot of material from in the pipe system at Surrey Drive. They got some cobbles out of the system at Hunter's. So, and a lot of these are locations where we're doing the watercourse maintenance as well. So we're cleaning out the pipe system that spills out into these watercourses, so that when we clean up these watercourses, we're trying to minimize anything that might actually come back into the watercourse. We're going in the right order. We're making good progress. We're staying within our budget. We've got a good team of people working on these things, and I'm feeling very positive about our progress in both projects.
So just to add, to give you some perspective on numbers, so far we have cleaned 1,500 linear foot of pipe, and we have removed over 500 tons of debris.
That's awesome. That's great, guys.
And just to add, Vanessa and Drew, the locations in bulk by neighborhood. I know that we've cleaned out the area, the culvert that drains Oak Hills Golf Course into the adjacent offsite property. I think it's a mechanic or an auto shop, right? We've done the Friendly Saddle Surrey area. We've done County Street, or we're working on County Street, right? And there's some other areas too that we worked on.
Yes, I have the breakdown here if you guys want to know. So Hunter's Lane and North Taylor was close to 7 tons. West Cedar, 367. Andrews Field, about 115. And Surrey Drive, as of today, about 15 tons. So that adds to a little over 500 tons so far.
Wow, that's great. That's a lot. I think we're going to see a good difference with that. Okay. Item number 3, the flood study status. I mean,
Yes,
okay.
Mr. Chairman.
Can I ask a question, George?
Sure, absolutely.
Of Anthony or Drew or Vanessa. So how long would it have taken to have built up that amount of debris or sediments or whatever that you pulled out? I mean, what are the factors? Like, that's a lot, right? That doesn't happen every 3 years, 4 years. Was it 10 years? What's it causing it?
So just in general terms, I could say that it's been a very long time since we had a heavy pipe cleaning contract, and never to the scope or magnitude that we're dealing with this year's contract. And the locations that we've been to would be localized problem areas that we've had in the past, not necessarily these locations. So I believe this accumulation of material has been over the course of decades, especially in the water courses themselves. We get a lot of complaints from the Friendly Pond area. It's called Friendly Pond because if you look at aerial photography from back in the 60s, there was something that actually resembled a pond there, which is now just a stream. So over those decades, the wetlands have accumulated a lot of deposits of material, and this is the first time that we've been able to get through all the permitting to get to a point where we could just do a real thorough cleaning of the sediment. And we hope to be able to reduce the amount of sediment that would go back into the system. Back in the old days, we used sand on our streets. That's not we don't have that anymore to get added into the system. So we're gonna try and manage how much actually gets into the system much better once we get everything cleaned up.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, David Huvelman, may I ask a question, please?
Sure.
I'm just curious, what do we do with all of the debris from the clean out? Where does that go?
So all the debris it goes basically to whenever we clean out our catch basins, we have a disposal process of that material. We're going through the same process. So basically my contracts require that we bring the material down to our operations center, and Jessica Palladino from our group handles the disposal of the material that comes either from within our drainage system, whether it be from the pipes, from the catch basins, or from within the water course.
Great, thank you.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Well, and Drew, to the point that you mentioned earlier, we stopped using sand quite a while back, correct? So now I know a large factor in all those pipes being so full was because of that sand during the winter years. So that should make a considerable difference going forward also. All right. Now, item number B, monthly solid waste report. Who would like to update us on that? Oh, don't everybody jump up all together now. Is there anything to discuss regarding monthly solid waste report? I'm seeing some no's. Okay, well, I know we had a comment and question from Ms. Laura Chell at the beginning of the meeting. I think maybe throughout the week, somebody will get in touch with some of those answers that some answers to those questions she asked. So that being it.
George, is Manny still on? He had a question.
Yeah.
Did he ask this
Oh,
question?
Manny, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Yeah.
That's right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to the Public Works Committee for all that you are doing and have done. We're making a lot of progress, which is exciting. I guess just to piggyback off of Diane's comment, I had a chance to catch up with her a little while back, and by all means, I'm not the expert. I looked into Simply Recycling and their operating model, and it seemed fairly intuitive. It seemed that there were success stories from other cities. It seemed like there was minimal cost to the city while an ability to decrease our costs, as well as potentially support our initiative of decreasing our carbon footprint, et cetera, et cetera. With all that in mind, I guess from my side, I guess I just wanted to ask, have we explored this option before? And if not, do we think it would be prudent for the city to explore this as it pertains to just our waste tonnage, knowing that textiles probably are, to my knowledge, the heavier component of that. So sorry to be long-winded, but just wanted to ask that quick question.
Sure. It is something that we actually are looking into. I know that Chris Torres and Jessica Palladino have been speaking to Diane about this. With the COVID pandemic, things have slowed in some aspects, but have ramped up in others. It's definitely something we're taking a look at. It's definitely something to consider. We haven't moved with any formal plans yet, and we'd like some more information from Diane. And like she suggested, rightfully so, a meeting with staff. Well, not a physical meeting, but most likely a Zoom meeting or even a teleconference call, just to find out a little bit more about the initiative and see what resources we need, whether it's staff or funding. And I'm not really totally familiar with the program myself either, so I'd like to be.
Agreed. Well, awesome. Well, thank you.
No, you're very welcome. And we'll definitely look into it, and we'll give the committee an update at the July Public Works meeting.
Nice. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Welcome.
All right. Well, thank you, Manny, for asking that, and Anthony for answering it. That being all, our next meeting's Tuesday, July 7th, 2020, 7 p.m. It'll be either video or, well, it's going to be video conference, but you can call in also, and we'll have the public hearing on that same day. That being it, can I have a motion to adjourn? All right, I saw Tom Keegan's hand go up. Mr. Keegan made a motion to adjourn. Thank you very much, everyone.